Hello dear students, Eid Mubarak. Hope you are all fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. You know, today's day is very memorable day for some of our students because today the result of our SSC examination 2020 has been published. Okay, so this day is very joyful or sorrowful time for some of our students. I have a suggestions to you all that the results of the exam is not the all in all of a person or a student's life. So all is well. After doing something, the results, don't be upset about the results. Okay, this is your luck. I think we will be ever, we should ever before the work. After the work, there is no chance to repent. Okay, today I will conduct a class for English version class 6 agricultural studies. Agricultural studies is very good subjects. I think this is a life science. If we want to survive in the world like this kind of condition of COVID-19, we should learn about the planting, about the farming also. I think this subject is very practical subject. Today we will discuss lesson number 3, agricultural inputs. Today we will discuss about the agricultural inputs. That means agricultural ingredients like that. Now, after completing these lessons, we will be able to learn about the soil identification. We will be able to identify the soil quality, soil classification of soil, and the composition of soil, necessity of soil for crop productions. Yes. And then necessity of water in agricultural sector, we will be know. This chapter is very huge. The range of this chapter is very huge. Like that, in total there are 12 lessons in this chapter. The title of this chapter, agricultural inputs, and this chapter contains 12 lessons. So you know this is not possible for me to complete all of these lessons within a class. So I have a plan for you that I will discuss only 4 lessons today, and then the next class we will discuss another 4, and the last 4 lessons we will have to conduct at least 3 classes for completing this chapter. Okay, now let's start our discussion. Soil composition. What is the soil composition? First of all, what is the soil? You know what is the soil? Soil is a kind of rock powder. You know rock, hard rock. Soil is a kind of rock powder. By the passage of time, the rock powder became a kind of soil with the organic composition. Okay, you will have to read your book thoroughly, and if you will have any complexities to understand this in your heart, you can get help from the Bangla text. Read the Bangla text beside English text, and you can get the gist of this chapter. As a student, as a junior student, you can get help from the Bangla text, because Bangla version and English version total the translating system. If you will read the Bangla text, you will get the sense, you will get the gist of these lessons in your heart besides English. Okay, the soil composition. What is soil? Soil is a kind of rock powder which has become soil by the passage of time, by the revelation. Okay, there is a pie chart for discussing about the soil composition. About the soil composition in our soil, basically 45% ingredients of our soil are the minerals. You know minerals, calcium, potassium, magnesium, that kinds of minerals, iron, zinc, this kind of materials are belonging with the soil. Minerals is the major part of the soil. Then water, 25% ingredients belongs, 25% water belongs with the soil as the ingredients of soil. Without water, soil cannot be soil. Like that, if the soil will not contain the water, it will not be soil. We will not able to plant crops, seeds, and the trees, because we know that no living beings can't live without water. What is water? Water is the life of the living beings. We all know that. And after the water, the another ingredients of soil is the air. What kind of question is this? Air is a kind of ingredient of water. Is it true or not? What is your thinking about this? Yes, obviously. In the air, in the soil, there are water also, there are air also, there are mineral also. Okay, the water, like the water, air also a components of soil, by which in the midst of the water, minerals, organic matters, air is also a components of soil. 25% components of soil is air. In the midst of the soil cell, there are some air points, air cell. Okay, air also a major components of soil. Okay, and please, there is a important matter also, organic matter. What is organic matter? Organic matter, this means organism, অনুজীব. Without organic matter, soil cannot produce anything. Okay, in nitrogen, oxygen, many other gases also contains, and the organic matter also, the microbiological virus, bacteria like this. Okay, bacteria, not virus. Bacteria is very helpful for production. Okay, for planting trees, plant seeds like that. This is the soil composition of our soil. This is the composition of our soil. Then the next chapter is classification of soil. Please, you can get help from your textbook. There are 3 kinds of soil in our country or in over the world, like that. Number 1 is what kind of soil is? Number 1, 2, 3. There are 3 kinds of soil in our continent or in our world, in our globe. Sandy soil. What is sandy soil? Sandy soil means 70% ingredients of this kind of soil is sand. This kind of soil is very good for potato productions, and yes, this kind of soil is very important for melon, watermelon, potato productions. What kind of? The sandy soil. The next is the loamy soil. The loamy soil contains sand less than 70%, and another parts are mineral. Loamy soil are generally segmented in 3 parts also, you know. Sandy loamy soil, silty loam soil, clay loam soil. Yes, and this kind of soil is important. This kind of soil is very good for all kind of productions, all kind of crops, all kind of things you can grow this in this kind of soil. This is very ideal soil. This is very good soil for the food productions. And the next kind of soil is clay soil. Clay soil, that means atel mati. You know what is atel? Ata type mati. Kemon ata type mati. Okay. This is called clay soil. Clay soil means 40% clay contains this kind of soil. In this kind of soil, there are 40% clay. That means kordom kona, kadar kona. Okay. You can get help from your textbook, and if you don't understand the word meaning, you can get help from the dictionary. After all, after doing all this, you will have to get the knowledge in English, because you are the student of English version. Please don't get complexity with my lecture. You can get help from the Bangla text and also the English text. And once upon a time, gradually you will be able to understand all kind of English once upon a time, inshallah. Okay. And the next 2 chapter is properties of soil. Yes, the characteristics, properties of soil. You can learn this kind of properties of soil from the textbook. And then the irrigation. What is irrigation? Irrigation means supplying water to production. Without irrigation, production is not possible, because water is the life of all living things. So without water irrigation, it is not possible for us to produce any kind of crops, any kind of fruits. Okay, I would like to complete today's lesson, but I am so sorry for my continuous talking, continuous lecturing, because without your presence this is not possible for us to making discussion with that. Please, you can make comments or you can make your question to me and I will try to answer all of your question. Okay, I am giving you the homework. Inshallah, in my next class we will conduct another 2 class also with these lessons, the rest of these lessons. Today's my homework is you have to submit me creative questions from the exercise part. After these lessons you have to find the creative questions according to these lessons. Okay, the questions generally made by this chapter. In this 4th chapter, the first creative questions you have to done and submit to my WhatsApp. If you make PDF or you can make the snap only the photo, you can send me photo in my WhatsApp ID. You know my WhatsApp number is 01818555531. You can do WhatsApp in my number. Thank you very much. Okay, goodbye for today. Allah Hafiz.